The Firebird, retold by Mairi Mackinnon and illustrated by Sarah Ugaloli.
And also retold by Grunkle Sean and...
Grunty Trina. Did you know?
I don't know, you can read about it.
Yeah. It's a Russian story originally.
Was it?
Yeah.
Russian?
Yeah.
A Russian fable. There was once a rich and powerful king, and he had 3 sons. The king lived in a beautiful palace, and beside the palace was a wonderful garden. The trees in the garden were gold and silver, and their flowers and fruit were shining jewels. The king liked to walk in the gardens every morning, sometimes with his sons or his servants, and sometimes alone.
One September morning, his servants heard a shout. They found the king beside an apple tree in the middle of the garden. This was no ordinary tree. The apples were golden apples, and one was missing.
Look,
The king pointed at the tree.
someone has stolen an apple.
Impossible, sir, the servants said. There was a high wall around the garden, and the gates were always locked. That night, guards stood outside the gates and around the walls. But the next day, another apple was missing.
We didn't see anything, the guards told the king. Perhaps they were asleep, said Dmitri, the king's son. Oh, look, Russian. Dmitri, the king's son. Father, let me watch with them tonight. He brought more guards. It was a long, cold night. Prince Dmitri tried not to think about his warm, comfortable bed. Morning came, and another apple was missing. We didn't see anybody, Dmitri told his father. The next night, his brother, Prince Vasily, watched with the guards, and the same thing happened again.
Father, let me watch tonight, said Ivan, the youngest prince. His brothers laughed. What can you do? You're only a boy. This isn't an ordinary thief, you know. An ordinary thief couldn't climb over the wall or through the locked gates. This must be a powerful sorcerer. Prince Ivan waited under the apple tree. It was very cold and the stars were very bright. The prince walked up and down to stay warm and sang songs to stay awake.
Towards morning, he saw light in the sky. Is that the sun already? He wondered. The light came closer. Ivan saw a beautiful bird with wings of fire and a long, bright tail. The bird flew around the garden and down to the apple tree. It opened its beak and to take the apple. Ivan jumped up and tried to catch it, but his body was burning hot. It flew away, and all he had was one red gold feather from its tail. Oh yeah, and his hand leather.
Yeah,
Looks like a peacock feather, doesn't it?
just a little bit. The king was amazed. So, our thief is a firebird. How wonderful. A firebird in my garden. Prince Dmitri said, Sir, you must have this lovely bird in your garden always. I'd like that, said the king. I will find it and catch it for you, said Prince Dmitri. He called for his servants and his horse and left the palace the same afternoon. Weeks later, they came back. We have visited every part of the kingdom, sir, and we have asked everywhere. Nobody has seen the firebird.
Prince Vasily said, Let me try. Weeks later, he too came back. We went to every town and city and even searched outside the kingdom. I'm sorry, sir. The firebird is just a story for children. Prince Ivan said, But I saw it, and I showed you its red gold feather. Believe me, sir, I will find it for you. What now, in the middle of winter? Dmitri and Vasily laughed. Stay at home, little brother. No servant will travel with you at this time of year. I don't think they have a choice if they were servants.
Then I'll go alone, said Prince Ivan. He put on his warm winter cloak and took the firebird's feather with him. Then he rode out from the palace. Soon he was riding through an enormous forest. There was snow all around him. There were no animals or birds, and Ivan could hear no other sounds. He saw a signpost and stopped and read it.
Go back.
You will die here.
You will fail.
Wolves will eat you.
I'm not afraid of wolves, said Ivan loudly. Suddenly, a huge silver wolf jumped out from the trees and attacked his horse. Ivan fell to the ground. I'm sorry, said the wolf. I couldn't stop myself. He was looking into Ivan's eyes. You've killed my horse, said Ivan. Are you going to kill me? Oh, I don't think so, said the wolf. Maybe I can help you instead. You? Help me? Asked Ivan. I have to find the Firebird for my father. My 2 brothers have failed already, and now I don't even have a horse to ride. Well, you can ride on my back, said the wolf. I will carry you to King Dalmat's palace. You'll find the Firebird there.
Ivan climbed carefully onto the animal's back.
We're running in the air.
He was amazed when Silver Wolf jumped high into the air, up above the treetops. They flew over the forest, above snowy fields and icy rivers. The moon and stars were bright in the sky above them. Then they saw the lights of a city below them and the gardens of another palace. Silver Wolf came down under some tall trees. Do you see that tower? He said to Ivan. The Firebird is in a room at the top of the tower.
The door isn't locked and nobody will stop you. Go and take the Firebird, but don't touch her cage. Prince Ivan climbed the stairs and opened the door to the tower room. There was the Firebird, as bright as the sun. How can I carry her without a cage, though? Thought Ivan. She'll burn me if I even touch her. He picked up the cage and immediately he heard loud bells and all through the palace. Guards hurried into the room and dragged the prince away.
Should listen to the wolf.
Yeah, that's the alarm.
Yeah. The next morning, they took him to King Dalmat. How can a prince like you be a thief? Asked the king. Sir, let me explain, said Ivan. He told the king the story of the Firebird and his father's garden. Shall I give you the Firebird? Asked the king. Well, you can have her, but you must do one thing for me. Many years ago, King Sultan stole my horse of power. Bring her back to me, and the Firebird will be yours. You can keep that feather, the king added. Someday it may help you.
Prince Ivan went to find Silver Wolf, and soon they were flying through the air again, over the mountains and across the sea. In the evening they saw the lights of another city and another palace. Silver Wolf came down in the palace gardens. Do you see the stables? He said to Ivan. The horse of power is there, at the farthest end. The doors aren't locked and nobody will stop you. You can bring her out, but don't touch her bridle. We don't screw out now, do we?
You know what he's going to do. Not the brightest cookie, is he?
No.
Quietly.
Brightest cookie.
Whatever. Quietly, Ivan opened the stable door. There was the horse of power, a beautiful golden animal with silver wings. He reached out with his hand and she moved away. I will need a bridle, he thought. I suppose that's her bridle with the jewels. But surely I can take this other one. Immediately, he heard bells all the way to the palace. Guards hurried into the stables and dragged the prince away. The next morning, they took him to King Sultan.
Why does a prince like you want to steal horses? Asked the king. Sit, let me explain, said Ivan. Oh, yes, sir. Sir, let me explain, said Ivan. He told the king the story of the Firebird, Silver Wolf, and King Dalmat. Is there something I can do for you, sir? He added. There is one thing, said King Sultan, said slowly. He showed Ivan a picture. This is my daughter, the Princess Maria. Many years ago, the sorcerer, Cachet, stole her when she was playing with her friends in the palace gardens.
Kidnap. I haven't seen her since that day, but I know she is still alive, said the king. Our bravest knights and princes went to search for her. They never came back. I will find her, sir, said Ivan. Do you know what you are saying? Cachet is very old and very powerful and very wicked. They call him Cachet the Deathless. So many have failed before you, young man. I hope you will not fail.
Ivan went to find Silver Wolf. Cachet the Deathless, said Silver Wolf. Do you want to kill us both? He can bring storms and fly through the air. His castle in the mountains is full of his prisoners. Nobody has ever defeated him, and thousands have tried. I will help you as much as I can, my friend. Ivan climbed onto Silver Wolf's back, and they flew far away, through the night and day to the north. To the north! To the north! To the north!
Finally, they saw a dark stone castle in the snow and ice of the high mountains. Silver Wolf came down to the ground, a little way from the castle. "We'll wait until it's dark," he said. "You may be lucky. Cachet will not expect you." When the moon came up above the mountains, Ivan climbed onto Silver Wolf's back again, and the wolf jumped high into the air. Inside the castle walls, Ivan was surprised to see a garden full of trees, flowers, and statues.
Silver Wolf came down in a corner of the garden, and Ivan started walking towards the castle. Then he heard music and voices between the trees. 12 pretty girls were dancing in the moonlight. "Maria, won't you join us?" one asked, and the 13th girl appeared, more beautiful than the others. She was older than in the king's picture, but Ivan recognised her immediately. He ran forward. "Princess, don't be frightened. Silver Wolf and I have come to take you home to your father. You are safe with us."
"Don't worry, Cachet isn't watching," said Ivan. "Come quickly." The moon disappeared, and a sudden cold wind blew through the garden. The castle door opened, and Ivan saw the shape of a tall man in a long, dark cloak. "Cachet is always watching," the sorcerer shouted. He held his arms high. His wicked servants flew through every part of the garden, and the princess's friends hurried towards her. Then Cachet turned to Ivan.
"Just one little prince and a big wild dog," he laughed. "What do you think you can do against Cachet the Deathless? You cannot kill me, it's impossible. I am outside my body, and you will never find it."
Read it again.
"I am 1,000 years
No.
old." Oh, yeah.
I
have hidden my... All right, calm down.
Well, read it.
Calm
Put your glasses on.
down. "I've hidden my soul outside of my body, and you will never find it. What do you think they tried to do?"
That's the statues, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
He pointed to the statues, and Ivan looked more closely. He saw the stone knights and princes with their swords held high, and he understood. "Too late, little prince," Cachet laughed. "It's time for you to join them." Ivan couldn't feel his feet or his legs. He looked down and saw that they were turning to stone.
The castle door closed and the wind stopped. Something fell to Ivan's feet. It was the Firebird's feather. Soon his body felt alive and warm again. "Quickly, Ivan," said the Silver Wolf. "Go to the dead tree. There in the corner, find the box inside it, and inside that you'll find the sorcerer's soul. You know what to do." Ivan ran to the tree. He reached it inside it and pulled out a dark metal box. He opened the box and took out a golden egg and fried it and put it on toast.
Almost.
Oh.
"No!" Cachet screamed from the castle door. "Give it to me! I'll give you anything you want." Ivan threw the egg from one hand to the other, and Cachet flew through the air. Then Ivan threw the egg on the ground, and it broke into 1,000 pieces.
Scrambled egg then.
Yeah. The sky turned black, and the castle walls shook. "Wake up, Ivan!" It was Silver Wolf's voice. Ivan opened his eyes. The garden was full of sunshine, and he couldn't see the castle at all.
There was the princess, and there were her friends, laughing and crying together. There were other voices too. Ivan saw the knights and princes. They were touching their living faces and stretching their arms and legs. Princess Maria was beside him. "Thank you, Ivan," she said. "Thank you," said her friends and the knights and princes. "Thank you," said hundreds more voices, men and women together. "We have been Cachet's prisoners for hundreds of years. We never expected to see light again." "Thank you," said thousands more. "Before Cachet built his castle, this was our city. Thank you for saving us."
The next day, Ivan and the princess said goodbye and climbed onto Silver Wolf's back. Soon they were high in the air, flying south to King Sultan's palace. And soon Maria and her father were together again. The king held his daughter close. He was crying with happiness. "How can I thank you enough?" he asked Ivan. "Please stay here with us," said Maria. "I'd like that," said Ivan, "but first I must take the horse of power to King Dalmat, and I must take the Firebird to my father."
"Then let us come with you," said the king. He rode the horse of power, and Ivan and the princess rode Silver Wolf through the sky to King Dalmat's palace. There, the two kings shook hands like brothers. Servants took the horse of power to the King Dalmat's stables and brought the Firebird in her cage to Prince Ivan. "Let me come with you," said Maria. "I'd like to meet your father and see his beautiful garden. Silverwolf can bring us back after that."
Ivan's father was sitting alone in his garden. His face was full of sadness and his clothes were heavy black. When Silverwolf came down beside the apple tree, the king couldn't believe it. He jumped up and ran forward. "Ivan, you're alive!" Ivan opened the cage. The Firebird stretched her wings, flew around the garden and took an apple in her long beak. Then she flew down to where the king was standing. "How wonderful," the king said.
"I won't keep her here," he decided. "She must fly where she wants, but I hope she will come back often." "Father, this is the Princess Maria," said Ivan. "And this is my friend Silverwolf, who attacked my horse and saved my life, and who brought Ivan to my father's palace and to Koshchei's castle, where he defeated the sorcerer and saved..."
Cachet.
Oh yeah, it changed.
Yeah, it's typo. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be an A there, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
"Sorcerer saved us all," added the princess. "And all thanks to this beautiful apple thief," said the king with a smile.
There you go.
And about the story.
Yeah. Firebird is one of the best known and best loved stories in Russia. Told ya. There are often pictures of the Firebird and other characters from the story on the painted wooden boxes that are very popular in Russia. You can see one here on the left.
Yeah.
Russia has many fairy tales and legends. They are not always so well known in the rest of the world. Several include the character of Prince Ivan, the youngest son of a king. Nobody expects much from the young prince, but he often has magical helpers. As well as stories and paintings, the Firebird inspired a famous ballet in 1910 with music by Igor Stravinsky. The ballet is still popular around the world today. On the right, you can see dancers in the characters of the Firebird and the prince. Absolutely.
Oh.
There we go.
We're going to go through all this lot?
No.
All right. So we'll skip that. You can. I'll hold it there, like, so you can pause it if you want to go through it.
Mixed up story, that one is.
Yeah.
Put the pictures in order. And then what happened next?
These are activities you can do by yourselves.
And is that right? One word is wrong in each of them. And then you've got a word list, which are always useful.
And then the
and
end.
then it's the end.
Graphics.
Graphics. Okay. There we go.
Remember, kiddies and parents, if you like it, click the thumbs up
Thumbs up.
underneath there at the bottom. And then click on subscribe and then click on the bell.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Ding
And then YouTube will let you know
Ding-dong.
every time we do a new book. And it won't be another one today because we've done 3 already. And then if you
Four?
really like it,
We've done 4 books today.
yeah, we've done 3 already.
Yeah,
and this one.
This one's number 4.
Yeah,
So we've
3
done 4
already
books.
and this one.
We've done 4 books. Share! Because caring is sharing.
And sharing is caring.
I got that wrong.
Yeah, you
didn't
got
I?
it wrong. That's our catchphrase that you got wrong there.
Sorry.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Did you run out of power?